Have you ever thought about the fact that since ancient times, the languages of different civilizations have not been connected to each other? So how did the first bilingual translator come to be? From the military uniforms of the Zhou dynasty to the Anhui army in the western regions of the Han dynasty. From Xuanzang's study of Buddhist scriptures in the Tang dynasty to Zhenghe Yuanyang in the Ming dynasty. The tentacles of Chinese civilization have never been firmly entrenched in the known territory of East Asia for thousands of years. How did our ancestors first communicate with foreigners? Let's take you through the history of translation in ancient China. Hello everyone. Welcome to Linguajiang's channel. I am the new up leader Linguajiang. Since the Zhou dynasty, or even before, the Yi tribe on the four borders of East, West, North and South, the language is different from the Central Plains. So how to give these people who are outside the words? To convey the order of Emperor Zhou? These regions want tribute. How can we express our loyalty to Emperor Zhou and say good things to him? So the profession of translation was born. In the early days, teaching methods were different in different regions. The name in charge of the translation affairs of the people in the East control the name of the South. Call the Western one deity. Only those who govern the North are called righteous. These people have a collective official position called xiangxiu. Xiang refers to a person who is proficient in Mani language. Su is a talented person. According to today's terms, he is a translator. Later the Central Plains expanded. The East and South sides were successively included in the territory. Started to be influenced by Chinese language. In terms of main languages, only dialects gradually remain. Therefore, the translation of these regions is not so important. However, due to the military threat from the Huns in the north, there has always been, including the Hushi corridor to the north, which can directly lead to the countries in the western regions. Therefore, the main channel for foreign exchanges is the north. The meaning specifically referring to northern language communication has become specifically referring to. Later, the translators of Buddhist scriptures linked translation and meaning together. That's why we have today's translation. It is recorded in Hohan Shu that Regency period of Duke Zhou, south of Jiaoji, Yu Shanghua offered it in white with 3 righteous principles. That is to say, when Duke Zhou was assisting the government. There is a Yueshang kingdom in Vietnam today. Wei Biao loyally paid tribute to Emperor Zhou with a white feathered chicken. But there is a language barrier. So we need 3 principles. Just translate it multiple times. Do you want Emperor Zhou in today's Shaanxi, Yu Shanghua in today's Vietnam? Want to make a call? There are no such direct counterpart translation talents in Shaanxi and Vietnam. Just need multiple rephrasings. They were probably the people who passed through the Yushang kingdom first. Translate the words to a Guangxi person. The Guangxi person then relate it to a Zhejiang person. People from Zhejiang turn to people from Hunan. People from Hunan turn to Shaanxi again. After all, the language of the neighboring areas. At least it has a certain degree of recognition. That's how I conveyed the message to Emperor Zhou. How accurate can such multiple representations be? Must be very bad. You mean the city gate building? He said across the axis. Probably so. This is the language difference between the north and the south. How can someone from the south understand this? Can't understand either. At that time, Zishi, a gentleman from Chu State, was playing on the lake in a boat. The boatman is a Cantonese. It's equivalent to a person from Zhejiang meeting a person from Hubei today. This Cantonese boatman has probably never seen such a handsome guy like Yi Jun. So I sang a song to Yi Jun in Cantonese. The Cantonese spoken at that time was called the language of the dead tongue by the Central Plains people. I can't understand a single word. It sounds like a bird chirping. What are you singing? The direct transliteration is rotten stream, turning into grass and rotten rain. What is Tsang Hu, Ziyu, Sangzhou Barabola? Anyway, Yi Jun was stunned when he heard this. I heard this guy said something to me. Fortunately, there is a translator nearby. Please translate it for me. What did he say? Translation can be achieved by remembering. What he said is, tonight, every night, thousands of boats will eventually flow. What day and night will I be able to ride with the prince in the same boat today? I don't know, it's late enough. My heart is ordinary, and I learned about the prince at night. There are trees in the mountains and branches in the evening trees. I am happy for you, but you don't know it at night. Even if you don't read the translation today, you can probably get the general meaning. What a good day today is. Let me meet you. Especially the last sentence. The mountains have trees, and the trees have branches. I am happy with you, but you don't know. There are trees on the mountain and branches on the trees. I like you. Are you here? Although the person opposite is a man. But our Mr. E is from the romantic Chu country after all. I heard my husband say so. Is that someone who can see the outside world? I went up and gave him a big hug. Then he covered his body with the back of his sleeves. What happened next to the two of them? We don't know. Anyway, the story on the back of Ujuan's sleeve has been passed down to future generations. The pleasant song has also become an important part of the history of our country. The first part of translating poetry. We just said, in the Zhou dynasty, there was a special translation official position, called Xiangsu, after the unification of the Qin dynasty. among the 3 princes and 9 princes, in charge of the affairs of the Ant Nation. It's Jinka. Later, Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty changed his name to Dahongru. It has been used by successive generations since then. For example, we often hear the 4 great Confucians of the Tang Dynasty. What are the official translators? All stored here. Let's think back to the opening question. How did the first translation come about? In fact, between different civilizations, there is a civilization buffer zone. They are not completely isolated from each other and have no communication. Language differences also slowly change with distance. On the edge of 2 civilizations, people are in long-term contact, influence each other, and penetrate. Over time, a connection was slowly formed. It is these transition zones. It has become the best link between civilizations. Like a village at the border of 2 provinces. He knows everyone on both sides. You can communicate with them. His language habits must also be influenced by both sides. The earliest translator in history. Most of them come from such areas. The big stage where Han Dynasty-style translation was active. Why? There are 3 types of uses of translation. War, commerce. Religion spreads again. Let's talk about war first. The Han Arctic Huns penetrated deeply into the western regions. 36 kingdoms of the western regions. All languages are confused together. Whether it is declaring war or negotiating. Is it possible without a translator? Why should he go into battle as soon as he suffers from cholera's disease? You can guide the Xiongnu lair. Instead of General Li Guang having to get lost as soon as he goes out. An important reason. It's just that Hu Xiubing has a leading party around him. Huns who surrendered. Act as a guide. Can you help me with translation? It was paired with a Han translator named Mianfu. Later Zhang Qian was trapped in the Xiongnu. Marry a Huns and have children. The second generation of mixed race born. I have been searching for 2 languages since I was a child. Ability to master multiple languages naturally. Many Buddhist scriptures in later generations were translated by people of mixed race, including Enlil Shan, who initiated the Ungshi rebellion. The image of Enlil Shan in our perception, just like a bead jar. The history books record that on Lu Mountain, he speaks 6 languages. Today's top-notch translator talents. This is actually related to his bloodline and growth environment. The Enlil Shan surname was one of the 9 Zhao surnames of the Sogdians in the western regions during the Tang Dynasty. The area where the Sogdians were active was in today's Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan, which country? These foreigners from the western regions all came because of the Silk Road business. Slowly integrate into the Tang Dynasty. Then you have to have a Han surname to integrate into the Tang Dynasty. Just take the name of the country. People from the state of Kong are named Kong. People from the United States have the surname Mi. People from the country of Shur are named Shur. Which country are you from? I'm from Anxi country. Then the surname is En. This is the origin of the 9 surnames Zhaowu. In fact, En Lushan's biological father's surname is Kong. Later his mother remarried. He changed his surname to En after his stepfather. Because De Shao grew up in the Tang Dynasty. There are Khitans around that area. Play small growing environment. At least there must be a meeting. SUT, Turkic, Chinese and Khitan. In addition, trade in West Asia. Persian and Arabic are also spoken. So En Lushan's first job was to be a dental nurse. Others do business. He was the one who translated and crosstalked in the middle. Started here. War migration. Commercial trade. They are all suitable places for translation. And then to the Eastern Han Dynasty. Buddhism was introduced. It's quite busy with so many red-letter books. The real climax of ancient Chinese translation history. The curtain will soon be opened due to Buddhism. The first is Shi Gao, who came to China at the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty. And Shi Gao was originally the prince of Anxi Kingdom. Within as the surname. Ming and Qing dynasties. Today's descendants of the En surname respect and Shi Gao as the ancestor of the En surname. And Shi Gao's important contribution. It was the first translation of Buddhist classics into Chinese. Has translated more than 30 scriptures. He is truly the first translator in the history of Chinese Buddhism. Later, a fierce man descended from the sky will appear. It's Kamara Stone. Another mixed race. Father is Indian. Mother is Princess Jiuxi. At that time, the great Qin king and the great emperor of Fujian sent tens of thousands of troops to conquer the western regions. The purpose is to get him. The Diamond Sutra we are familiar with. All potential dharma is like a dream and a bubble. Like dew, there is no cushion. English writings are like worldview. He translated. All images are false. He translated. Not only that, countless idioms and words that we use in Chinese today. It all comes from him. World. Future. Nirvana. No sea. Wisdom. At ease. Trouble. In the vast world, not a single speck of dust can be burned, and there are wild imaginations and confusions. Brilliant reflection. Everyone is happy. All the flowers follow the moon. Incredible. Come into contact with it. The communication and spread of human civilization is often driven by this kind of genius that comes from the sky only once in 500 years. Luo Shi was unfortunate on the weekend. He was forced from the war in his distant hometown to come to the most chaotic era in China, the 5 Hus and 16 Kingdoms period. He is lucky, and people with strong wisdom can change with the times. He thought that since he had to leave his homeland, he could go to the east to spread Buddhism. From Lu Guang's back office to Yao Xing's back office. While enjoying the supreme glory in the Old Moro period. Use all your energy to translate Buddhist scriptures, an extremely important door to Chinese civilization. It is being quietly pushed forward by him, turning into a little red hare with his tremendous strength. When today we look up to Yungang and look up to Dunhuang, the solemn Buddha statues in the grotto, behind the silent Ing Hong. He is a genius like the old Moro sure. Used the wisdom of a lifetime with the steps of a lifetime. Measured the breadth and depth of civilization spread. His lifelong experience of being forced to abstain from discipline has often become a source of discussion behind the aura of a holy monk. When Qianqing's army conquered Qiuxi, facing the spirit of Qiuxi in the hearts of the people, Lu Xiuzhou Moro Stone. Qianqing's army made him make a fool of himself time and time again in power. To break the sacred aura of Old Moro Stone. Old Moro Stone who was forced to get drunk, sharing a room with his naked cousin. The Old Moro Stone's final force. This story was later adapted by Jin Yong into the story of Duan Yu and Mu Wanqing and Dragon, including Su Zhu and Princess Xixia in the Ice Cave. They also have this template. The title of Zhou Mo was given to the Tubo demon monk Zhou Moji. The experience of breaking the precept with the old magic stone ended in its original form. Later, the logistics Yao Xing directly arranged 10 women for the old Mo Luo Shi. Later she gave birth to a child. This became a stain on the old Moro Stone's life. Talk to himself. Lotus grows in smelly mud. But those who pick lotuses should not pick up smelly mud. It means don't look at him as a person. Depends on the Buddhism he promotes. It's time for that person to appear after the old magic stone. Invite Sun Wukong's master Tang Xuanfu to appear. We all know now. Xuanzang actually smuggled out to seek Buddhist scriptures. The country didn't approve it, so he ran away. Fortunately, we finally returned home with a full load. The Central Committee of the Tang Dynasty will not pursue the matter of smuggling. Before studying. There must have been many monks from the western regions in the Tang Dynasty. Before Xuanzang studied abroad. You can get good language education before going abroad. At least the level of ordinary language is absolutely useless. Learn the language while traveling with the countries along the way. Say it again. A Tang's reputation spread far and wide. At that time, Chinese was at least considered a universal language. Just like today we speak English wherever we go. This is also an advantage. If you don't remember it, you'll have to make gestures with the Lotus family. After arriving in Tianzhu, he practiced hard for several years. But it took Xuanzang 17 years to learn the scriptures. After returning to China, it took 19 years to translate Buddhist scriptures. Where scriptures are translated. It is the landmark building of Shangxi today. Big Wild Goose Pagoda with rotten pine trees. Daisaiyan Temple at that time. Xuanzang spent 19 years translating scriptures after returning to China, sleeping temporarily at the 3rd watch and rising again at the 5th watch. While translating the scriptures, he also completed the travelogue the western regions of the Tang Dynasty. From this came the later journey to the west. When Li Shimin read the records of the western regions of the Tang Dynasty, means well written. The records of the countries in the western regions are very detailed. Send it to the Ministry of National Defense for immediate action. So the territory of the Tang Dynasty continued to expand. Xuanzang passed away 1 month after he finished translating the Buddhist scriptures. Same as old Moro history. It seems that my life's mission is to complete such a thing. A great cause of great success. Wait for the task to be completed. Life just fades away. The translation movement initiated by Buddhism. From the Han and Jin dynasties to the Sui and Tang dynasties, it reached its peak. Then gradually declined in the Song dynasty. And in the Ming dynasty. The previous Yuan dynasty itself was a multi-ethnic regime. And pay attention to ocean trade. The application of translation in various ethnic languages is becoming more and more widespread. Zhang He's voyages to the west. The accompanying translators included Ma Huan, Ha San, Guo Chengli, and others. These people not only understand Arabic and Persian. Hassan is also the chief priest of the Grand Mosque. When sailing to the west, there are many Muslim countries along the way. Wouldn't it be intimate to have this conversation? The Church of Jesus in the West in the late Ming Dynasty began frequent exchanges with Chinese teachers and officials. For example, the Italian Lima Do and Su Guangqi of the Ming Dynasty. Together they translated Euclid's Elements. After Buddhism, it's time for Western culture to rely on these Western missionaries to build bridges. The earliest Piyuhan Dictionary and Inghan Dictionary were also born at this time. In the late Qing Dynasty, the powerful guns of the Western powers. It forces the Chinese people to open their eyes and see the world. How to see the world? To learn from the West and build in the East, you have to rely on translation. For example, Yin Fu's translation of Tianyin Luan. That is Darwin's theory of evolution. words about natural selection and survival of the dead. In the dim times at that time, he became prosperous and prosperous. Yen Fu proposed 3 principles of translation. Impressive and elegant. The letter is accurate. Faithful to the original text. Reach. Fluent expression. No speech problems. Yeah, just beautiful and elegant. Vivid and natural. Take a look at some of Yen Fu's own translations. Philosophy translated as Neo-Confucianism. The spirit of discussing law. Translated as Dharma. On freedom. Translated as group self-theory of the whole world. But the most famous translation vocabulary. It has to be the word logic that he translated. Maybe Zendaya's standards are too high. Daily translation is difficult to balance. Especially the last criterion. Yeah. What is elegance? Even more blurry. So later scholars. They also have their own translation theories. For example, Mr. Lucen advocated. Subject to letter. Return to obedience. The content is accurate and credible. Be smooth and smooth. Mr. Fu Lei even proposed. A standard of faith that does not seek resemblance in form, but resemblance in spirit. The art of translation lies in having both action and spirit. In this video, we take a quick look at the flowers. The history of translation in China can be found. No matter what civilization, their thinking logic is the same, even though their respective languages are vastly different. Can also communicate through time, slowly understand and learn from each other. From Takamatsu, the earliest translator of Buddhist scriptures, to numerous modern translators who introduced Western learning, even to the Chinese subtitles group we are familiar with. The purpose of translation is communication and dissemination between civilizations. In exchanges, new splendid cultures and wisdom miracles can be created through collision. The heyday of our nation was the most open and tolerant period. Only by embracing all rivers for my use can I conquer the mighty river. Others cannot steal your own culture, but I will throw it away from my own hands. Our cultural self-confidence is not about being complacent and seeing everything clearly and being self-centered. Rather, it incorporates and continues to innovate and travel. Let Chinese culture nourish our future generations. It can also illuminate the world of the past, present, and future. Ancestors are capable. The younger generation need to work harder. This video ends here. Welcome everyone to connect 3 times with 1 click. Everything you left behind. See you next time.